This is an example of the weekly log summary that you'll be doing at the end of each week. And Dr. Altieri and I put together a little sample for you so that you could have a glimpse of what one might look like. You'll notice that this copy is handwritten, and that's just fine. If you print it with front and back, you could actually fit 4 weeks of reflection and signatures on one page. So consider that, but you're of course welcome to print a new one each week that's completed electronically and collect those signatures. Just make sure that you hold on to all of the pages with the signatures completed. On the left-hand side, in this area over here, you're going to talk about the week number, and so this would be week number 1, and it's got a couple of extra days in it, but that's fine. And the date of the log is the Friday that it ends on, so that would be the 14th. This week, because it had Thursday and Friday included and an open house, probably I set an estimate of 58 hours. You're going to look at the log you created on Google Docs that does the math for you and calculates it all out into your different categories. You're just going to capture the week's totals over here. So in my case, when I looked at my electronic log, I had 5 hours of observation, I had 2 1/4 of conference, and I had 50.75 in other. We completely expect that that other category is going to be nice and big these first few weeks, particularly while you're just circulating, helping with management, those learning the classroom routines and the students, that kind of stuff. No missed hours this week, so I don't need to list any reasons for that. But in future weeks, if, for example, you had a day that you were sick or you had an appointment or something like that, you would record it here. In this column right here, you're going to self-assess your learning and progress with your focus areas for the week. And this is going to be a little bit different this week only, just because it was our first week and we didn't really identify a goal for ourselves. So the key lesson that I noted on this log was helping students learn the instructional spaces of the classroom takes time and practice. And that was my key learning, and watching the fact that the students had to practice over and over what those different routines were and how we were expected to participate in various spaces of the classroom. I thought that was the key lesson that I took away this week. You can have whatever key lesson you want to. This is a great time to sit back and think, what's the big picture piece you're taking away with you after your first 7 days in the classroom? Your progress with your implementation focus, you probably won't have one this week. It was the first week and we didn't really identify one. What's going to happen is, in preparing for next week, we'll go ahead and identify some intentional goals for ourselves, and then in the next week's log down here, we will comment on our progress with that. So, in preparing for next week, I said that I really wanted to observe my CT's math practices. Maybe that is an area of strength for me, and I really want to get strong with it, so I'm going to pay particular attention to it. Or maybe that's an area I'm really worried about, and so I'm going to really pay attention and be very specific about how I watch the different kinds of math instruction going on, what the language sounds like, what the activities look like. For my implementation focus, that's something I want to work on my own instructional practice. And so right now, because I'm not really involved in the teaching activities of the classroom yet, I might say something like, I want to work on asking students to explain their thinking when I circulate. So when I'm helping with that on-task behavior during student work time, not when the teacher's teaching, of course, but when I'm just helping them during their independent practice, I want to check in with some students and ask them to tell me what they're thinking, and practice listening and being really present in the moment, and understanding how students articulate their learning and their understanding and their thought processes. So that might be my implementation focus, but yours can be whatever you want, providing specific positive feedback. It might be managing transitions. It might be building relationships with students. Whatever your implementation focus, what's something you want to be intentional about next week? And then nothing is too big, nothing is too small. Well, actually, probably a lot of things could be too big. Pick something small, pick something targeted, pick something specific that you want to work on. Then next week, you'll reflect on your progress with that down here in the bottom in week 2's progress with my implementation focus. For collaborative preparation and planning tasks, I know that we're going to be working as partners next week. We're actually going to implement not the whole morning meeting, but we're going to be implementing an activity for Wednesday and Thursday. So we need to get together with that and get that done on Monday so that our CT has plenty of time to talk us through what that would look like. Or maybe we've already done it. We did it on Friday, but we know that that is getting the details together for next week is something we're going to be working on. And we also know that we need to really study those math SOLs because the observational focus is math practices, and so those are going to make the most sense if I really understand the context they're in. So that's a sample of how the log would be completed, and then you'll print it out, you'll sign it in the intern box and get your CT to sign it, and then bring it to Monday's seminar for the supervisor's signature. Talk with your CT and decide when the most convenient time is to do this. This could be a Friday afternoon routine, or it could be a Monday morning routine capturing the previous week. If it's going to be a Monday morning routine, though, go ahead and have a conversation on Friday just to get a collaborative preparation and planning focus. What is it that you need to be studying and thinking about for the next week and because you might want to get a head start on that on the weekend, particularly once the year gets started and we get deeper into the experience. All right, that's it.